Hello adventure riders from around the world. As I promised already thousands of times, in my channel you can see everything. So today's review is going to be about this beautiful, powerful and aggressive naked bike Yamaha MT09. Sorry about it, I cannot learn that it's Yamaha, it's not Yamaha, but this is what we say in my country, we say Yamaha. Anyway, this is not the typical adventure motorcycle, not even the typical travel bike. It doesn't mean that you can't do it. Of course you can do it, you can travel with everything, include 50cc scooter, but it is not something most of the people used to travel. But it doesn't mean that this bike need to be just dismissed like that, and it deserves a special attention because it's a very beautiful bike, by the way. It has 17-inch front wheel and 17 on the back. It has very powerful 900cc three-cylinder engine with 115 horsepower, if I'm not wrong. Powerful brakes, front and rear, very good suspension, little hard because it's more like a sport bike. And as you can see, it's a naked bike, so no windscreen, just a small simple windscreen here to deflect the wind, at least something, but it's not good for a long trip. If you decide to make long trips, it will be just different. And the owner of this bike, actually, it's a very young boy, 22 years old, and I believe that his words will worth much more than mine, because it's good to see this bike from a perspective of a young person, young rider, and to share his experience with the bike and with the travelings, because he has done a number of trips with it, how he feel it and all of this. So just give me a second to switch the mic. All right, here will be better. Just attach it there. Easy. Luka actually is the son of Goran. And Luka, how are you today?
Good, a little cold, but no complaints apart from that.
Okay, can you please sit on the bike for a while, just to see? And tell me, what is your size?
186. Yeah, 186.
Okay. How you find the sitting position?
Good. I don't have an original seat. I do have an aftermarket Yamaha comfort seat, which did make a huge difference to me in general riding and performance when I launch. It has a backrest which holds me in. So apart from that, pretty good.
All right. Just a second. Tell me first few words about your experience. When did you start it? What was your first bike, and what pushed you to change it to this bike?
I've only been running for 3 years, so still pretty fresh. I first had a Honda CBX 500. It's like a baby Africa Twin. That was amazing, super comfortable, and I did plan to have it for a lot longer. But this bike was already actually in my family. It was my father's bike, and as soon as I was allowed to ride it, as soon as he gave me a go, I fell in love with it, and I just had to have it. And eventually we worked out a deal, and now it's mine. So I think it's amazing.
How you compare this bike to the CB500? If you need to compare these two bikes?
Obviously not as comfortable, but a lot more powerful. A lot more fun for, especially I'm younger, and the type of rides I go for are usually quite short. But I did lose comfort, and obviously it's not remotely as economical. So I have to fill up almost twice as much as I did before on the Honda. But I love it either way.
All right. So you did a few trips with it. What do you think about this bike for the long trips?
I would definitely change the seat. And if you have the money and don't mind, I've had a lot of recommendations about changing the suspension. But apart from that, I've gone to Sydney, I think is the furthest. So I think 600 Ks in one day. And with the new comfort seat, it's an original Yamaha comfort seat. Definitely improved it. But apart from that, I would like to do this suspension, but just don't have the money at the moment.
All right. One very important question before we continue with the rest of the questions. Do you think that this is a motorcycle for newbie riders?
No, I wouldn't recommend it. Especially at least not in your first couple of years. I was very hesitant and slow to build confidence because I have a lot of torque, and even in standard, which my understanding is 60-70%, launch still can pick up if you like. So it's a little scary to begin with, but yeah, I'm here now.
But you're not scared, yeah?
Oh, a little scared, a little safe, so a little bit still.
I saw in the last 2 days you twist the throttle pretty hard.
Acting for you.
Acting for me? No. I'm very gentle, I'm very slow, but yeah.
Nah, gotta pretend like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Okay, just a few more questions. Just wait for this truck. Tell me a few words about suspension. You said you want to upgrade it, but tell me why and how you feel the bike without windscreen.
Without windscreen, firstly, for me is a huge difference because my Honda, I had an aftermarket windscreen extra on it and I never had any drag at all, which I definitely enjoyed. It is a pain, and I would love a larger windscreen, but that's just something you have to sacrifice for a bike like this. And it's something I'm just having to deal with on days like this when it's quite cold. It is an issue, but you love the bike and that's what you just put yourself through. Suspension, I have ridden one of my friend's bike who did change it to ZX10 suspension, and what I hear, that's the most common upgrade that people do. I find it quite stiff after a long time. And apart from that, obviously I don't have that much experience to say too much about it, but it is pretty tough. Full Acra system on the back.
What do you think about the brakes?
I've had to use them a couple times, especially on the strange things that pop out here. I'm pretty happy with them, no complaints. I have actually taken this to a track before, and it was amazing.
All right. And what will be your choice if you have to buy a bike now and you've got all the money you need? What you will buy?
At the moment, it'd still be the same bike. Maybe later in life wouldn't mind a more adventure tourer bike, but while I'm young and I don't really do those types of trips, this is my dream bike and I already have it. So even if I had all the money in the world, I wouldn't change it. I'd probably get more bikes, but I'd still have this one.
All right. If you want to give one piece of advice to young riders, or people your age or even younger who just started, what it will be?
Pace yourself, you're not invincible, and it is better to start on something smaller. Then I know a lot of people who wait and rush, get the big thing straight away, but play it safe and learn, I guess.
Good advice, thank you very much. Now I'll ask you a few more questions about the petrol tank. How many liters you've got?
12 and a half, I might be wrong, but it's a pretty small tank. Not that efficient. I think I get 250, maybe a little more if I'm lucky, but I do usually ride in a lower gear because I have an Acra full system and I love to hear it, so that's
Okay.
my fault.
I just want to ask you to start the engine because you've got really nice exhaust.
That I definitely do. Oh, it's already on.
It's a definitely good ride, good fun to ride this bike, but I can tell you from my experience, it's not a good fun to stay behind him. That's why I always try to be in front of him, not to prove that I'm faster, just because I cannot handle this exhaust for more than 20 minutes.
Pretty aggressive.
It is aggressive. Yeah. So I think this is about everything. I will post in the description below his Instagram, his Facebook. If you have any questions, especially the newbies, they can share a common interest, and this information might be very useful for a new rider especially. So thank you very much, Luka.
Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure to ride with you, your father and your friends. And don't forget also to subscribe if you're not already.
Already am.
All right. See you next time, guys. Ciao.
See ya.